By the time the 2024 election rolled around, the MAGA group's biggest voices were deeply invested in the Epstein saga, insisting that evidence was being suppressed in a nefarious political cover-up.
Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls.
We need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
The Epstein list. We haven't heard anything about that one in a while. It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? We're not allowed to say they're groomers, but when they act a lot like groomers, sort of tells you everything you need to know, right?
Sort of tells you everything you need to know, right? Now, even amid all that hype, even as Trump's own running mate and his own son, the future FBI director, deputy FBI director in his administration, were promoting those conspiracy theories, Trump himself was still being super cagey about Epstein all through that period of time. I mean, here he was in the middle of the campaign being asked by Sean Duffy's wife which secret government files he would release as president.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
So, despite all the pressure from his base, and there was a lot, still is a lot, Trump still seemed apprehensive about releasing evidence from the Epstein case. Even today, Trump seemed to be baffled by the enduring fascination with this story.
I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
Why they would be so interested? He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going.
Look, there is a reason that Trump's followers latched onto these conspiracy theories so easily. Trump has built his entire movement around telling his followers that they are being screwed over by a cabal of unaccountable elites. People with power who can get away with anything, while the little guy gets screwed by the system over and over again. But Trump has always been an imperfect messenger for that movement. First of all, he is the embodiment of the elite. Not only did he inherit unimaginable wealth, but he has never been held to account for even his most egregious actions, not for a failed insurrection, not for 34 felony convictions, or for turning the presidency into a for-profit enterprise, which he has done in just 6 months. He is perhaps the most unaccountable elite of them all. But when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein in particular, Trump is a particularly bad messenger. He has had no problem stoking baseless conspiracy theories, but has no interest in actual transparency. And the MAGA movement may finally be starting to realize that. And as wild and crazy as this whole thing is, it may also be the moment for Democrats to reassert themselves as the true anti-elite party.
Mr. Speaker, I introduce today an amendment demanding the full release of the Epstein files. Are you on the side of protecting the rich and the powerful, or are you on the side of the people?
They're doing all of this so they can give billionaires tax breaks and make private jets fully tax deductible. They're the same rich and well-connected elites that they're protecting by keeping the Epstein files under lock and key.
Did anyone really think the sexual predator president who used to party with Jeffrey Epstein was going to release the Epstein files?
Democrats are not holding back. They're calling it out. This isn't the anti-elite president. He's kind of the opposite of that. He's also the anti-transparency president, it seems. But while the Trump administration wants to change the subject, Democrats are going to keep hammering them on it, I expect. But the problem is the Trump administration also doesn't have anything better to talk about. I mean, look at the other headlines out of the Trump administration just today. Inflation is on the rise thanks in part to Trump's disastrous tariffs. He has yet to ink a single one of his promised trade deals. They are not, in fact, letters. He hasn't ended any of the wars he promised to end. His big, ugly bill is growing more unpopular by the day, so much so that Senator Josh Hawley, who voted for the bill, is now introducing a measure to try and roll back some of the bill's big cuts to Medicaid. He literally voted for the bill less than 2 weeks ago. Trump is even losing support on a signature issue as more Americans bear witness to the cruelty of his immigration crackdown. Trump has no other issue he can turn to, nothing that will help him get out of the mess he's made for himself.